I'm Michelle from Legal Suite, and in this webinar, we are going to look at setting up the defaults for an employee with regards to time recording. Now, each employee is set up with their different rate of hourly charge, and although most attorneys do have various rates, we normally have one that we set up as a default, and that would generally be your normal billing rate. Okay, so in order to do that, we click on Setup and we go to Employees. Now, please note that this can only be accessed if you have rights to do so in the program. Okay, if you don't, you would need to then speak to your system administrator. Okay, so we're going to look at our article clerk. Double click on her, and we are going to come to time recording. Okay, now I see we already have some stuff set up here, so I'm going to take it off. Right, so we want to ensure that enable time billing has been set up. I also would encourage you to create a file note. That way, a file note is automatically created every time a time record is captured in the time recording screen. We now need to select an actual billing rate. Now, normally for the candidate attorneys, they would either have their own rate or they would have a reduced rate of their principal, but you can decide what rate you want. Now, these rates have already been set up under Setup Time Records. So please do have a look at our webinar on how to set up billing rates, but you can also add billing rates on the fly, as I'm about to do. So Paula Abdul, she doesn't have a billing rate. We're not going to use her principal's normal rate. We are going to use her principal's reduced rate. So every time Paula Abdul records time, it will be defaulted to her principal's reduced rate. And the default activity, again, if we come into the activity screen by clicking on the ellipse button, you'll see that there is a predetermined set of time-based activities. And once again, please look at our webinar on how to set that up. But again, you can set these up on the fly. So our default activity will be a general attendance. It's exactly what it says. It's general, it's an attendance. So this can be changed on the fly as the time records are captured. So please do look at our series of time records, of webinars on time recording. Okay, so we select our default activity. Now, default duration. The default duration, if you leave this at 0, will be 60 minutes. Okay, and that is what the screen will show when we get to the time record screen. And again, please do have a look at our webinars on that. Alternatively, if you charge in default groups of 6 minutes or 5 minutes, you can set that up here. Okay, so if your minimum is 5 minutes per activity, set it up here, and the time record screen will automatically pick this up. If you want to charge by pure per minute billing, leave it blank, and you can then change the minutes with every time activity that you record. Under billing method, you can either bill for hour per hour part thereof, so it'll automatically bill 1,000 Rand per hour part thereof. Alternatively, you can bill per minute, which is what I prefer. And you also have round the calculated fee up to the nearest, and I always round up to 10 Rand, and round the stopwatch up to the nearest, and I always like to put it to 5 minutes. And again, please do have a look at using the stopwatch and using the time records.